Hello, everybody. This is James Moffett, and I'm with the Liberty and Gun Rights Podcast, or I should say, I'm your host for the Liberty and Gun Rights Podcast. Today is August 18th, 2023. I know it's been a few weeks since we have put together an episode for this podcast, and I apologize for that. I work two jobs, about 57 hours a week, and so I'm struggling to come up with content for episodes, and I'm trying to augment that content with guest speakers. Uh, Candy Harrell with Gray Lady Defense was my last guest speaker, and she outlined all of the services that she provides for women shooters in South Carolina, specifically in the Low Country area. So, having said that, I am going to talk to you today about Palmetto Concealed Carry, which is a group that I founded, I don't know, about 10 years ago, maybe longer. We have the main Palmetto Concealed Carry group on Facebook. It has over 6,000 members. And then I created a Palmetto Concealed Carry Low Country group, which is down here in the Charleston area, Charleston County, Berkeley County, Dorchester County, Orangeburg County, all the Low Country area down here. And so I'll show you those websites shortly. However, one of the things I want to do today is I want to highlight and advertise for the Palmetto Brigadiers organization. You'll see I've got my hat on, and I'll get a little closer so you can see it. It's a pretty nice hat, and if you make a donation on their website, I think $40 and above, then you automatically get this quality hat shipped to you. It's made very well, and it's your, just typical baseball cap. Um, Good to wear out in the community and to advertise for the Palmetto Brigadier organization. So I'm going to show you the website, which is over here. I think you can see it. But if you go to I'll just read it off. It's part of the about statement. It says we are a statewide community watch affiliate, crime awareness media group, an emergency response organization, and missionaries. This administration provides information to all local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies to bring criminals to justice. So, as you can see, it's very uh, pro law enforcement. It says we're a Second Amendment, and constitutional carry advocate. We are a Second Amendment and constitutional carry advocate, or advocates. We're a patriot group focused on posting crime awareness media, public service, aid, and the protection of the citizens of South Carolina, its history and its heritage. This group honors all government employees, military, patriots, protectors, first responders, doctors, nurses, and medical personnel, past, present, and future. A place where all law abiding, like minded citizens can share related posts and have their own community. We will not tolerate anarchy in our fine state of South Carolina. So, that's kind of a Reader's Digest summary of who and what the Palmetto Brigadiers are. In looking at their Facebook group, they have 2,587 members. Okay, and we can go to discussion. This is a private group, and you can see the group on Facebook, but you can't see who the members are, and you cannot see any of the discussions going on. So, having said that, I'm going to go to, I'm going to search for Palmetto Concealed Carry. All right. So here's Palmetto Concealed Carry. Don't tread on us. This is a custom logo that was made many years ago. And let's see how many members we have here. We have, I said 6,000, I think. Uh, I want to say we have 6.5 thousand members. I don't see. Yeah, here we go. 6,373 members. So we have, these are people all over the state of South Carolina. Once upon a time, before the pandemic hit us in 2020 and 2021, we used to have meetups, and we'd go to, ATP in Somerville or Palmetto State Armory, or out to uh, the federal range. I'm losing my thought here. Anyways, it's the state parks and recreation range out in Mount Pleasant. I'll think of it in a second. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is we would go to out to the range and we go shoot, and people would bring firearms that they had purchased recently or in the past that other members would like to look at and get a good a feel for them, and then members would allow other members to shoot their weapons in a safe manner. And so then we'd shoot, and then we'd go out and eat lunch or dinner or what have you, depending on what time of the day it was. And I kind of miss those meetups, and I want to. It's August, and it's hell month here in South Carolina. It's 102 degrees with a real feel of 115, and nobody in their right mind wants to go stand out in the heat and humidity and sweat and turn into big puddles trying to shoot. So at least I don't. And so I'm going to wait until, I don't know, September or October, and I'm going to organize another meetup for Palmetto Concealed Carry here in the Low Country. And then anybody in the upstate that would like to do the same thing that's part of Palmetto Concealed Carry can certainly create an event, you know, give people about a month to add it to their calendar, and go out and meet other Second Amendment like minded shooters, legal gun owners in South Carolina, and just go have a lot of fun. So this is the main Palmetto Concealed Carry group on Facebook. So now we're going to go to the Low Country group that I set up that's separate. Oh my gosh, there's my picture. I'm everywhere. And here's the Low Country group coming up. Got a separate logo. Basically says it's the same thing. Palmetto Concealed Carry. Don't tread on us. Low Country chapter. And uh, we have how many members? I don't know. Somewhere it says it. In 1,854 members. So we have close to 8,000 members all across the state of South Carolina for the Palmetto Concealed Carry main group and the Low Country group. And you can get on you can become a member. You can ask to join, and you need to answer the membership questions. If you don't answer the membership questions, you won't get in. And I personally, myself, and a couple of other gentlemen, um, Roy Freeman and Ken Harrell, I believe, we look at the Facebook group, on a daily basis, and we try to keep up with the new members that are coming in. And I think I even set up a pre-approval. If you come in, you answer all the questions, then you're automatically added, and then there's a introduction message that's posted to the news feed saying, "Hey, welcome our members here. These are the admins of the group." Blah blah blah. So anyway, like I said, this is going to be a short podcast. I don't have a whole lot of information. Oh, I guess the other thing I want to talk about is Charleston County Parks and Recreation. About 18 months ago, it was observed that Charleston County Parks and Recreation put gun ban signs up at all of their county parks. Well, there's 33 county parks in total, and the Wanamaker Park over here in North Charleston, Isle of Palms Park, the park on Johns Island, and James Island. Uh, all four of those definitely had the legal SLED signs, basically stating no concealed weapons on their property. It's not like they're banning the concealed carry or open carry of weapons at their business office where they keep money and sell things and sell memberships and paraphernalia. No, they were banning the carry and transportation of firearms and ammunition in the entire park, the entirety of those parks, which is unlawful. And 18 months ago, we started the process of filing suit against them in court. We have a local law student at the Charleston School of Law who's going to remain unnamed because he does not want his name on this podcast. I understand why. And there's a lot of details to this suit that are in my head and I'm aware of, but I cannot share any of those details because the litigation is ongoing. I will say that events have transpired that I can't speak of, but they've transpired and pressure has been placed upon the commissioners of the Charleston Parks and Recreation Commission to take those signs down. And there's a possibility, a good possibility, within the next 14 days, those signs are going to come down. And once the litigation is over, then I can share a few more details. Needless to say, Charleston County is a predominantly liberal, Democratic run county. Mount Pleasant and Charleston is total blue. If you look at the state of South Carolina, if you look at the map, the upstate is mostly conservative and Republican and very Second Amendment friendly. Governor McMaster is purportedly a Second Amendment friendly governor. He supports the Second Amendment and he used that as part of his platform when he got elected. And the Attorney General's office and the Governor's office were made aware of what's going on here in Charleston with the Charleston County Parks and Recreation and their illegal, unlawful gun bans. And like I said, they're aware of it. And um, I'm with South Carolina Carry. I'm the vice president, one of the founding members. We started out in 2015 and we were basically responsible for helping the reciprocity between Georgia and South Carolina, allowing citizens of both states to conceal carry weapons as long as they're following the letter of the law for concealed carry permits per each state. We helped to get the restaurant carry approved, where legal gun owners can conceal carry and if they have a CWP, a valid CWP, and they can go into restaurants and with their families and they can sit down and eat a meal. And you're prohibited from belly up to the bar and just start drinking. You can't do that. But you can go into a restaurant that does sell alcohol if you have a valid CWP and you can carry your weapon and you can still carry it. Um, Restaurants, there are some businesses and restaurants that put no CWP signs up and forbid the carrying of concealed weapons on their premises, which South Carolina gun laws allows businesses to do that. They can prohibit you from um, exercising your Second Amendment right to carry a weapon. And so basically, you have a decision. Do I want to spend my money in that business? And if I do, then I've got to go put my weapon away in the car and lock it up, and you have to worry about criminals, breaking into your car. And if you have any Second Amendment or gun manufacturer stickers on your car, that's going to alert the criminals that you probably have a gun in the car and they're going to break out your window or whatever and steal it. So that's a topic for another uh, episode on this podcast, perhaps. So we were also, South Carolina Carry was also involved in getting the Open Carry with Training Permit or Training Act. Open Carry with Training Act that was passed a couple of years ago, I think. And basically, it means if you're a legal gun owner and you have a valid CWP, you are allowed by South Carolina gun law to either concealed carry your weapon or you can open carry it, but you have to have a valid CWP. South Carolina Carry is also involved in the fight for constitutional carry. Since 2015, we have been involved in a lot of things regarding constitutional carry. One second. This podcast is probably not the most professional podcast you ever see. I'm still learning. Drinking water while I'm online is probably one of those things I'm not supposed to do. You know what? It's my podcast. I don't care. Anyhow, what was I talking about? Oh, constitutional carry. 47 states in the Union have some form of open carry, constitutional carry, or open carry with a permit or whatever. So the liberals would have you believe that it's the wild, wild west and there's going to be blood running in the streets. You know, the statistics show that the 47 states in our union that surround us that have constitutional carry or some form thereof, violent crime is on the downturn. In other words, criminals are looking for soft targets. They're not looking to get into a shootout with legally armed citizens. And so they know that, hey, citizens are arming themselves and they are tired of it. They're tired of being victims and they want uh, to be able to exercise their Second Amendment rights and concealed carry or open carry their weapons so they can protect themselves and their loved ones. So the fight goes on in Columbia. So what happens is the House of Representatives in Columbia, they're very Second Amendment, they're pro Second Amendment legislators, and they always pass the bills that come through. So it goes to the Senate, and then the bill goes to the Senate Judiciary Committee, who has other little subcommittees that the Senate Judiciary Committee leader, I think it's Luke Rankin. I may be wrong. I think it's Luke Rankin, but anyway, uh, he's he is the one that moves that bill to the committees to be discussed, amendments made, public forums engaged, yada yada yada. Whatever happens at that level. And so usually what happens is the Second Amendment bills, like open carry, go to the Senate Judiciary Committee and dies. Most of the time, it's buried under a pile of other bills that are more important to them, and then they wait until the last hour and go, "Oh, we ran out of time. We can't vote on this bill. It's going to have to come up in the next session," which is exactly what happened last year. So South Carolina Carry is involved in trying to make that happen. Our uh, legal committee that we have that has attorneys that are board members and volunteers who volunteer their time to help pass the constitutional carry bills through the Senate. And so, wish us luck. 2024 is almost upon us. With the next 3 months, January will be upon us before we know it, and our legislators will be back in session. And I'm going to show you our website, South Carolina Carry. Let's see, southcarolinacarry.org. I hope you can see this when it comes up. So, defending gun rights in South Carolina, South Carolina Carry. And if you click on join and renew, you can, for the price of a small pizza, $20, you can join South Carolina Carry and be part of our organization as a volunteer. Um, you can see here the membership levels are 1 year $20, first year $15, first responder, LEO, military, 2 year $35, 2 year $25, first responder, LEO, military, lifetime is $250. Pay it one time and you're done. If you're a first responder, LEO, or military, it's $150 for a lifetime membership. and we have quite a few lifetime membership members. So if you join South Carolina Carry, what do you get? Well, you have skin in the game. Basically means that you're a volunteer member of South Carolina Carry. We automatically put you on our MailChimp alert system, which basically sends out emails every time there's any kind of activity in Columbia where they're trying to pass ridiculous laws like red flag laws and other bills which are contrary to the Second Amendment. In other words, our you maybe we should say they're our enemy. I don't know. I don't like using that word, but the liberals and Democrats, the gun control people who want to basically disarm Americans, citizens of South Carolina, they don't want us to have the ability to exercise our Second Amendment rights, and so they're working overtime uh, to have bills passed, like the red flag law and other laws that will limit what kind of weapons that we can purchase, what kind of accessories we can have on them. Uh, that'll be another topic for another episode as well. But anyway, um, you have skin in the game when you join our organization. There's other organizations like ours, like Palmetto Gun Rights. I'm sure most of you are probably members of that organization. They send out a newsletter pretty frequently. That's something that South Carolina Carry needs to get a little better at. We need to be a little better at communicating with our membership, and we're aware of that, and we're working on a plan to make that happen. So, anyway, if you join for the price of a pizza, you're in, and you'll be alerted to anything that you need to be made aware of. If you need to get a hold of your state representatives in your area to let them know that you do not want them to vote yes on a particular bill, we'll send out an email alert to all our members and let you know. You'll get it via email on your desktop computer. You'll get it on your mobile device, Android, iPhone. Um, you're made aware of it, and then hopefully you'll get an action alert. We'll send out an email that says, "Hey, this is an action alert from South Carolina Carry. This is what's going on. This is what you need to do." So short, sweet, to the point. So that's what you get. And if you go to our website, you can look at about our organization. And South Carolina Carry is dedicated to defending the right of individual self-protection guaranteed by the Second Amendment through the education of and interaction with the public. For grassroots gun advocacy and education, 501(c) nonprofit organization in South Carolina. Below is a list of our board members and zone leaders on our organization. Mike Dorilli is our president. I'm the vice president. Pat Marvin is the treasurer. Julia Boven, I'm saying that wrong, secretary. Roy Harmon, legal counsel. Robert Merting, he's one of our attorneys. Hal Marvin on the membership committee. Dan Roberts, who's our outreach director, and Sheriff Scott. Sheriff Scott is one of the, I think, one of the only co-owners of a shooting range, Sandhill Shooting Sports up in Elgin. And if you look at our zone leaders, we have one zone leader in Zone 3, and that's Randy Jones. And all our other zones are open. Zone 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm constantly looking for leaders, people that are Second Amendment advocates or activists that want to spread the word in their community where they live and talk to gun ranges and range owners and gun stores and leave flyers, have meetups, and have membership drives to get people to join our organization. So, if you're listening to this podcast episode and you're interested in uh, doing something above and beyond spending $20, send me an email at james.moffett@sccarry.org. That's james.moffett@sccarry.org. So yeah, as you can see, I'm kind of freewheeling this and just flying by the seat of my pants on this episode because I don't really have anything quote unquote prepared. But I can talk about all of these organizations because they have everything to do with liberty and gun rights. right? So let's see. We have a section on South Carolina carry called Pending South Carolina Legislation. Sheriff Scott has been very, very good at keeping this up to date. And when this is an Excel spreadsheet, very detailed. It's got a lot of information. You'll see this says 2021 pre-filed legislation, blah blah blah, and there are all these bills are listed. And this is the text for all these bills, and you can go blind trying to read that if you're like me. I have older eyes. Um, so anyway, you can scroll down the list and whatever grabs your attention, you can read it. And so you probably are not aware of all of these bills that are being filed by our enemies. Um, and it's our responsibility to be diligent and educate ourselves on what's going on in Columbia and talk to our legislators and let them know how we feel and ask them or implore them to vote in a way that our Second Amendment rights will not be infringed. Right? So anyway, that's this. That's the section that we have, and we try to keep it up to date. And yeah, I want to get back to the website. Here we go. Um, Here's a take action section. Join legislative updates. These are blog posts that Shara pretty much posts. Constitutional Carry 2023 Bills Update. That was our last post, I believe. Firearms Bills in Committee, Tuesday, 4/25/23. Senate Judiciary Constitutional Carry Hearing, H3594 now in the Senate. So, like I said, Sheriff Scott does a great job of keeping all this up to date. Here's the volunteer section that you can click on, and it shows that you can become a volunteer. Here are all the zones I was telling you about, zone 1 through 7. I'm down here in zone 6 in Berkeley County. We need we need county leaders and zone leaders in every one of these counties and zones in South Carolina. South Carolina Carry wants to defend and expand gun rights in the state of South Carolina, but we can't do it without you. Sign up to volunteer, and we'll work with you to make the most out of your efforts to protect the Second Amendment. We're not asking anybody to put in a 40-hour week, by the way. This is purely volunteer work. Everybody in South Carolina Carry, including the board members, don't take a dime or a penny for the energy we expend. The board of directors, which there's 9 of us, we head up different committees and we provide guidance to our county leaders and zone leaders with regards to our mission statement, our vision, the things that we're trying to accomplish in the state with regards to the Second Amendment. Once you have become a paid member of our organization, we will assign you to your zone and county leader depending on where you live. You can see which zone you are in on the map. Here are some practical ways you can volunteer your time and talent. Volunteer for a few hours at one of the local gun shows in your zone. Pass out flyers and business cards to local gun shops and ranges in your area. Talk to Second Amendment friendly businesses about being a corporate sponsor for our organization. Write blog posts about gun industry and Second Amendment topics. We really need help with that. If you want to write an article about reloading or about different gun stores and specials we have running or accessories or anything to do with the Second Amendment or gun industry, uh, feel free to write a blog post and email it to me at james.moffett@sccarry.org. james.moffett@sccarry.org. You can come up with creative ways to serve your community and draw positive attention to our organization. Call your friends, family members, and coworkers and recruit them to be members. Call your lawmakers and communicate with them about laws that should or should not support, they should or should not support that affect our liberties in South Carolina. Team up with team up with a board member on one of the committees and help with projects. Be a social media ambassador for our organization on the different social media portals. We have our South Carolina Carry Facebook group, and we have our South Carolina Carry Facebook page. So we have, I don't know, 4,000 or more people on our Facebook group that are not necessarily members, but there are some members there, and then there are not. Some of them are not members; they haven't joined up yet. But we post updates to that group, as that Facebook group as well, so everybody knows what's going on. Help us put together a monthly newsletter. If you're a writer and you're a Second Amendment advocate or activist, and you like to write, and you're part of our organization, you want to help us with a newsletter, then we're looking for volunteers for that as well. Help us to partner with other Second Amendment friendly organizations to give us more exposure to the residents in our state. Pick the demographic you fit into and reach out to that group of people and encourage them to join us in the fight for our liberties. If you're a woman shooter, reach out to other women shooters. We all belong to some sort of group or club that we can identify with. So, if you're a legal gun owner and you're a member of South Carolina Carry, Palmetto Gun Rights, whatever group that you decide to support, if you're part of a motorcycle group, right? Reach out to your friends in your motorcycle group. If you're, we don't care what your sexual preference is. We don't care what color your skin is. We don't care what your politics are. As long as you are a legal gun owner and you're a supporter of the Second Amendment and you want to see our Second Amendment rights and liberties and gun rights uh, be furthered, then that's all we care about, right? Uh, One of the largest growing demographics is women shooters. Uh, and I believe the last time I read or talked to anybody, I think the black female shooters are one of the fastest growing groups of women shooters out there. Um, Women of all races and cultural backgrounds want to be able to defend themselves, and they have a right to be able to do that. And so, if you're a woman shooter, you're probably a member. You may be a member of one of the many national or local women shooter groups. I'm drawing a blank on what they are. Uh, Girl in a Gun, I think, is one of them. Cheryl Scott is she's a state level leader for one of the women shooter groups. My mind's going blank as to the name of it, so forgive me. But if you're a woman shooter and you're listening to this episode, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And so, if you go to church, and you got, Second Amendment savvy supporters in your church group, get them to join our organization. Some people like myself, we're actually on the safety team at our church, and we help protect we're sheepdogs, and we protect the flock while they're going to church and listening to the word and doing praise and worship and all that good stuff. So there's a lot of us that are uh, legal gun owners that have CWPs in South Carolina that have been given permission by our pastor or the governing board at that church that allows us to carry firearms on the property, which is the legal way to do it. So anyway, there's all that. And if you don't want to be a member of South Carolina Carry, but you want to donate, we have a donation page. You click on donate. It says here billionaires like Michael Bloomberg are funding anti-gun front groups across the United States. The Supreme Court has delivered several defeats to the anti-gun movement, so these groups are now attacking the Second Amendment at the state and local level. Now, they're in South Carolina, and we have to join together to stop them. Can you donate $100, $25, $10, $5? Every dollar helps. Your donation will be used to ensure that gun rights are protected and expanded in the Palmetto State. So, Moms Demands Action. That's a huge, huge group that's funded by Michael Bloomberg and a fellow named Soros, Soros. I forget what his first name is. All these billionaires are working at the federal, state, and local area to help push red flag laws and other anti-Second Amendment laws that will infringe upon our Second Amendment rights. And I kid you not, when we have public forums here in South Carolina and Columbia, when they're trying to, when the legislators are trying to see how the public feels about red flag laws or this law or that law, Moms Demand Actions, they fill up busloads of women and moms that are part of this national organization. They wear red T-shirts with white lettering, and they go to these open forums and they fill up those open forums with red shirts. And the sad fact of the matter is that the Second Amendment community, legal gun owners in South Carolina, they don't show up for these things. So what do the legislators see when they're looking out at the, where everybody's sitting, the public? When they look out there from their bench and they see, you know, 50 or 150 Moms Demand Actions T-shirts, and some of those people are speaking. They sign up to speak, and there's going to be blood in the streets, and this is the wild, wild west, and people shouldn't own guns, and the gun violence rhetoric, and all this crap that you hear on the media. They are against it. The president of the Sheriff's Association is one of our biggest enemies when it comes to Second Amendment rights and the ability to conceal carry or open carry. He's front and center at all these public forums and tells those legislators that the only people that should be carrying guns is law enforcement and the military. And if you're like me, that's hogwash. And we need to stand up to that. We need to let people know. Legal gun owners in South Carolina need to pull their heads out of the sand and realize that we need to speak. We need our voices to be heard. And the only way that our voices are heard is if we pick up the telephone and call our legislators, let them know that we're aware of these bills that are being filed and that we do not want them to vote for them. And guess what? If they vote for them anyway, and they say they're a Second Amendment supporter, and that's part of their strategy for getting elected, well, the next time they come up for re-election, then we're going to work overtime in our communities and neighborhoods and let those people know, hey, this guy's a rhino, and he says he supports the Second Amendment, but guess how he voted on this anti-Second Amendment bill, like a red flag law, and we can work and we can work together as citizens, legal gun owners in South Carolina, and we can make sure those people are not voted back into office, and we can get rid of them and replace them with people that actually do support the Second Amendment, right? So I would implore you and encourage you, if you're not a member of Palmetto Gun Rights, South Carolina Carry, the NRA, any of these pro Second Amendment organizations, that their purpose in life is to fight for our gun rights and fight for our Second Amendment liberties, uh, support somebody. And above all, volunteer some of your time, talent, and money towards making this work, for defending our Second Amendment rights. Because if you do nothing, if you're silent, then guess what? Our legislators, all they're going to hear is from Moms Demand Actions and Moms Demand Action and any other group like that that's being funded by these billionaires. And they are spending the money and they're doing everything in their power so that our legislators hear a message that we don't want them to hear. We want our legislators to hear loud and clear that we are patriotic, we believe in the Constitution of the United States of America, we believe in the Bill of Rights, and we believe in the Second Amendment to the Constitution, that our rights shall not be infringed. So there's that. And you'll hear that from me a lot. And I'm going to repeat it almost on every episode so that you'll get it. You'll understand it. And if you don't understand, talk to talk to other legal gun owners. Talk to other patriots in your community and find out why it's so important, so critical. We're doing this not only for our current ability to conceal carry or open carry and exercise our Second Amendment rights, but we're doing it for our grandchildren and our grandchildren's children, future generations. You know, the next, I'm 62, so in the next 20 or 30 years, I may not be here anymore. And so it's up to me and you, legal gun owners in South Carolina, to do our part. Our grandchildren, our children, our grandchildren, and their children, they're going to reap the benefits of what we do today. If we do nothing today, then the rights that we do have and that we do enjoy, no matter how infringed they might be in 2023, 20 or 30 or 40 years from now, our children and grandchildren might be reading in the history books about how those rights were taken away. And I'm here to tell you that if we sit here and do nothing and we're silent and we assume that other people are going to do what we're supposed to be helping to do, um, those rights are going to be gone. And look at some third world countries and their history about how countries had gun registrations, and right after gun registrations, guess what? Gun confiscation happened, and their rights went flying out the window. And once your rights are gone, um, they're almost impossible to get back. So hopefully, I'm putting down some stuff that you're picking up and that you agree with. And if you don't agree with what I'm saying, you're probably listening to the wrong podcast. So anyway, back to South Carolina Carry. Um, we're doing what we can in South Carolina to further the cause for Second Amendment rights and gun liberties. And I hope that you'll join with us in doing that. Um, I'm going to keep you up to date on the Charleston Parks and Recreation gun ban that's happening. I'm hopeful that in the next 14 days or so, that those gun signs will come down. Those gun ban signs will come down, and legal gun owners like you and I will be able to conceal carry or open carry our weapons and ammunition. And the idea of being able to defend ourselves and our loved ones against those people that would choose to take away our freedoms or choose to victimize us and rob us or carjack us or whatever it is that the criminals are trying to do. And so, I guess having said that, I'm going to thank you for the privilege of your time. And our podcast is hosted on Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Be sure to share our podcast with your Second Amendment friends, family, and coworkers. You can contact us at Liberty Gun Rights Podcast at proton.me. That's Liberty Gun Rights Podcast at proton.me. Thank you for listening to today's episode, and goodbye for now.